When people think of you, what exactly do they say? Now, this might sound like a really silly question to be asking, but it's actually one of the most important questions that you could possibly ask yourself. And that's because it has a lot to do with the brand that you're building. As a talent, as a creative, as a business owner, it's really important to be able to understand the perception that you want people to have of you. And now this is the perception on kind of two levels, right? So you have your business brand, if you like. So as an artist, that is your kind of more formal presentation of yourself to the world. And then you also have your personal brand, so kind of who you are as an individual, and not so much what you do, which is more of the business brand side of things, right? So as an individual, who do people say that you are? Are you reliable? Are you dependable? Are you honest? Are you trustworthy? Are you someone that people can come to for advice? Are you someone that makes people laugh? Are you great to have around? What kind of adjectives do people use to describe you? And indeed, are those adjectives what you want to be known as, right? If you want to be known as dependable, what are you going to do to make yourself come across as more dependable for your friends, for your family, and those who know you, right? So being kind of conscious and aware of the way others are perceiving you is so important for whatever brand you're building, whether that be a business brand or a personal brand or both, because then you can kind of be able to manipulate how people perceive you through your actions, through your words, through what you do, right? So if you want to be perceived as a funny, easygoing person, then the easiest way to do that is to put out funny, easygoing content, right? So when people think of you, they think funny and easygoing. So it's really, really important that you project yourself in the way that you want people to perceive you. But the only way in which you're going to be able to do that is if you have clearly taken the time to analyze yourself and really think about the message that you're putting out there. Another reason why this is really important is because as you're building a brand, you're essentially trying to find your tribe of people who are going to love and appreciate and value you, your product, your service, whatever it is that you have to offer. And the only way you can find them is by projecting them. That is what is going to attract them, right? There are so many there are so many influencers out there. There are so many people who put out content, but yet we know that there are, certain people who have been able to amass greater followings than others, even if their content is basically the same. And the reason for that is because these people that are more successful have been able to project themselves in a way that their kind of audience have naturally gravitated towards them. So yes, you can put out funny content, but is that content appealing to the sorts of people that you want to be attracting? What actually is the content of that content? I think that for me, coming to the decision in terms of what I wanted to be known for was really difficult, just because I felt that there were different sides to my personality, and I wasn't sure what I was prepared or willing to kind of share with the rest of the world. And so for a long time, I was just so focused on the audience that I was trying to attract that I kind of lost myself a little bit with all of it. And then it became draining to put out content and it was no longer enjoyable. So it was only really at the end of last year that I was like, I'm going to inject more of my own personality into, ironically, my personal brand. So that's really the decision I had to come to, and that in itself has kind of enabled me to share more of myself, more of who I am, with my audience. And reception generally has been good. I'm loving the conversations I'm having in the DMs, and I'm glad I'm able to connect with people perhaps on a more deeper level than before. So it's all about getting the balance right, but ultimately, and never forget that, you know, people are always forming opinions of you. So as best as possible, try to control that opinion of yourself by being conscious of the content you are putting out there, because that essentially is what people will always go on to identify you with.